Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating modern economic paradox. What actually happens when companies use AI, not just to speed things up, but to actively replace human workers? We're going to meticulously build a theoretical economic model, piece by piece, to understand a phenomenon that researchers call the AI layoff trap. We are totally stripping away the real-world news cycle today to focus purely on the mechanics of this model to see exactly how it works under the hood. Okay, here is our blueprint for today. We're going to build the AI economy, check out the supply-side equation, look at the consumer demand cliff, calculate the final profit equation, and finally set up the game. So let's jump right into part one, building the AI economy, the board, and the players. Meet our absolute most important variable, alpha. I want you to picture this as a literal dial sitting on every CEO's desk. It goes from 0 to 1. Set it to 0, and your workforce is 100% human. Crank it all the way to 1, and you've completely replaced every single human task with AI. Alpha is essentially your automation and your layoff rate, all rolled into one single mathematical lever. Now here is the core tension of our whole setup. Every task in this model can be done by a human for a wage of W, or by AI for a cost of C. And the golden foundational rule of this model is that C is strictly less than W. AI is cheaper, period. That gap between the two, that is the pure cost savings of automation. It's exactly what makes turning up that alpha dial so incredibly tempting. To keep our model super clean, we are looking at a universe with N identical competing firms, and each one has L tasks to fill. And here's the kicker. Whether a human or a robot does the task, it produces exactly 1 unit of output. No quality differences, no magical speed boosts. We are totally stripping away the argument that AI makes products better just so we can focus purely on the math of human displacement. Every task completed is just 1 standard unit. All right, moving on to part 2, the supply-side equation, examining the carrots and sticks of automation. This brings us to the million-dollar question every executive has to answer when faced with cheaper artificial intelligence. I mean, if every AI task costs less than a human wage, why wouldn't a rational CEO just crank their alpha lever all the way to 1 right now and fire everybody? Well, the answer is friction. It's one thing to automate rote data entry, right? But replacing nuanced human strategy or complex negotiations, that requires massive restructuring. In our model, this is defined as a quadratic integration cost. Basically, as you automate more, the headache of integrating the next AI tool doesn't just go up a little bit, it shoots up dramatically. The deeper you cut into the human workforce, the exponentially harder it is to make the machines actually work together smoothly. So, a firm's production cost becomes this intense tug of war. You've got cheap AI on one side and the growing nightmare of integration friction on the other. As a CEO turns up that alpha dial, labor costs drop, for sure, but friction grows quadratically. This creates a mathematical sweet spot on the supply side, where they save the absolute most money right before the chaos of integration outweighs the benefits. It's a really delicate balancing act for every single firm. Let's pivot for part 3, the consumer demand cliff. We're shifting away from the factory floor to look at the cash register. Now, here's a quirky but absolutely vital mathematical assumption for how our simulated world works. The workers, they spend a fraction of their income, which we call lambda, right back at the store on the goods this sector makes. But the firm owners, they spend exactly 0 of their income on these mass market goods. They take their profits and go buy yachts or mansions elsewhere. The big takeaway here is that these firms rely almost entirely on worker wages to survive. The workers literally are the consumer demand. But hold on, a laid-off worker doesn't just stop spending completely on day 1. We have this variable called eta. Eta represents the fraction of a fired worker's income that gets recovered, maybe through a new job in a different sector or government unemployment checks. It's a number between 0 and 1 that acts like an economic shock absorber. It softens the blow just a little bit when a human gets replaced by a machine. But whatever income isn't saved by that eta buffer, that becomes our effective demand loss, or L. Literally every single time a firm automates a task, L is the exact amount of consumer dollars that permanently evaporates from the aggregate market. The worker loses their wage, and the entire sector loses that worker's spending power forever. That is the consumer demand cliff. Which brings us to part 4, combining all of this into the final profit equation, the big formula. Let's translate this dense algebra into reality. A firm's profit relies on 3 forces fighting against each other. First, you have the cost savings from their own automation. Second, their own integration friction holding them back. But think about that third piece of the puzzle. That math term contains an alpha with a little bar over it.
That represents the average automation rate across all N firms in the entire industry. That is their lost revenue. Your profit isn't just about what you do. It's heavily, heavily impacted by what everyone else does too.
And right here is the dangerous trap at the very heart of our model. An automating firm captures 100% of the cost savings from its own layoffs. But that demand loss, that is shared across everyone. If firm A fires a worker, they save the wage, but that worker stops buying from firm A, B, and C. Because the pain is diluted across the entire market, firm A only suffers a tiny fraction of the demand destruction they just caused. This massive mismatch between private savings and shared destruction, that is the AI layoff trap. Finally, part 5. We have the math, we have the players, now let's set the rules of the game.
Picture all these competing CEOs gathered around a table. In this model, they are playing a one-shot simultaneous move game, kind of like rock, paper, scissors, but with mass layoffs. They are completely rational and there are absolutely no secrets. When they grab their alpha levers, they have perfect foresight. They know exactly how much demand they are destroying, but they all have to act at the exact same time to maximize their own individual profit. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. If every single CEO can clearly see the exact mathematical cliff approaching, will their rationality actually save them? When your survival demands cutting costs today, but doing so destroys the very consumer base you all rely on tomorrow, does perfect foresight prevent the collapse, or does it just guarantee that everyone races to the bottom together? It's a fascinating question, and it's exactly why we build models like this, to understand the hidden mechanics of our economy.